All right, let's dive in. Coming to the US can feel like you're trying to learn a whole new language, right? Especially with all these acronyms getting thrown around. SSN, ITIN, EIN, it's a lot to keep track of. So today, we're going to clear up the confusion around three of the most important numbers you'll ever need to know.
And this is really the big question, isn't it? Which one of these do you actually need? You see them on job applications, tax forms, business documents. It feels like they're everywhere, and it's so easy to get them mixed up. But hey, don't worry, it might seem complicated, but this system is actually pretty logical once you break it down. And I promise, by the end of this short explainer, you're going to know exactly which number you need, and more importantly, why you need it.
Okay, let's start with the big one, the one most people have heard of, the Social Security Number, or SSN. The best way to think about this, it's your work number. It's pretty much the golden ticket to working legally in the US.
Now, the key phrase you really need to remember here is authorized to work. If your immigration status says you can be employed here, whether you're a citizen, a green card holder, or on a certain type of work visa, then you're eligible for an SSN, and you'll always recognize it by that classic 3-2-4 format.
So, why is this number such a huge deal? Well, officially, it's how the government tracks your earnings for Social Security and Medicare. But in real life, it's become the key to, well, almost everything. You need it to get paid, to open a bank account, sometimes even to get a driver's license. It's pretty essential.
So to make this super clear, let's talk about Maria. She's a brilliant software developer who just moved here on an O-1 visa. Since that visa specifically gives her permission to work, one of the first things she did was head to the Social Security office to get her SSN. For Maria, that SSN is the direct link between her new tech job and her bank account. It's how her company can pay her legally and on time. You can really think of it as her financial passport for day-to-day life in the States.
Okay, so the SSN is for working. Got it. But what if your visa doesn't let you work, but you still have to deal with U.S. taxes? Well, that's where our next number comes in. Let's talk about the ITIN. This one is all about taxes.
ITIN stands for Individual Taxpayer Identification Number. And here's the crucial difference. It's made for people who are not eligible for an SSN, but still have a legal reason to file a U.S. tax return. The dead giveaway for an ITIN, it always starts with the number 9.
Now, this is where things get really interesting. Remember Maria? Well, she's married to Alex. He came with her on a dependent visa, which means he's not allowed to work. So Maria has her SSN, but Alex can't get one. But they want to file their taxes together. What do? This is the perfect job for the ITIN.
By getting an ITIN, Alex can be included on their joint tax return. And why does that matter so much? Well, filing jointly as a couple often means they get a better tax rate and more deductions than if Maria had to file all by herself. So the ITIN is a super important tool that helps families stay compliant with tax laws and, hopefully save some money.
All right, so we have a number for people who work and a number for people who don't work but need to file taxes. But what if you're not just an individual? What if you're a business? That brings us to our third and final number, the EIN. Honestly, the easiest way to wrap your head around an EIN, or Employer Identification Number, is to just think of it as a Social Security number, but for your company. It's the unique ID that the IRS gives to a business to track all its financial activity. And you'll notice it has its own distinct format too. 2 digits, a dash, and then 7 more digits. So let's meet Priya. She's an entrepreneur here on an E2 investor visa, and she started this amazing coffee roasting business on the side. The second she registered her company as an LLC, she needed to get an EIN to really get things rolling.
So why is the EIN so important? Well, if you're going to hire even one employee, it's an absolute must. If you want to open a business bank account to keep your personal and company money separate, which you definitely should, the bank's going to ask for it. And for certain business structures like LLCs or corporations, it's just plain mandatory. For Priya, it was the key to operating her business professionally.
So to quickly recap, we've got the work number, the tax number, and the business number. Let's just put them all together one last time in a simple chart to make sure it's all perfectly clear.
This lays it all out, nice and simple. The SSN is for people who are allowed to work, and it's for getting paid and just general life stuff. The ITIN, the one that starts with a 9, is for people who can't get an SSN but need to file taxes. And finally, the EIN is what you get when you become a business owner. 3 different numbers for 3 very different situations. So now you should have a really good idea of which number applies to you. The question is,
what's your first move? Well, the path forward is actually pretty clear. For an SSN, you'll want to check out the Social Security Administration's website. For an ITIN or an EIN, your destination is the IRS website. They'll have all the forms and instructions to get you started. You've got this.